Alright, so bear with me because I swear this question will make sense later on in the video. But are you the kind of person that immediately falls asleep the moment your head hits the pillow? Or are you the kind of person that just sort of lays in bed for an hour trying to move around to find the perfect position? I swear this question will have relevance later. This question will make sense later. I'm not being creepy here or insane, but let me know down below in the comments what kind of person you are. And with that being said, hey everyone, my name is Poisonblade. I hope all of you are doing well today. Today we're building a Otter Habitat inspired by the Giant's Causeway. We're building a circular, floaty but also not floaty viewing area, and we're building an area that I can only describe as a flood park. Basically it's a park that's designed to be floodable. Anyways, don't forget to hit the like button and let's get started with this video. So should I start with the crazy question from the intro, or should I start normal and explain what we're doing today? Let's start normal, just like friendship. Like you lure them in by being normal, and then when you have them hooked, you let the insane craziness out because they can't run away anymore after that. Alright, so we're starting off by the circular viewing area, which was basically how this entire build started out. I had this reference picture pinned on Pinterest ever since the start of Eve Zoo, and so when I was thinking, oh, I want a Otter Habitat right near the entrance, it was just like, yes, the stars align, everything comes together now. I don't know where the Floodpark actually came from though. That was just sort of like, I want variation in the terrain. We have now firmly established Eve Zoo to be in the Netherlands, which in Dutch, that would mean that Eve Zoo would translate to Dierentuin Eve. So here's your Dutch word of the day. Zoo in Dutch is Dierentuin. So yes, the word gets very long compared to the English version. But in Dutch, Eve Zoo would be Dierentuin Eve. All of my Pinterest journeys came together for this habitat again, or this build. I don't know where the Floodpark came from really. That was just sort of like variation in the terrain. Oh, we have established that Eve Zoo is in the Netherlands, which means that high waters or floods are a concern. So Eve Zoo has tackled that concern by having areas designed to be floodable. Also, Eve Zoo is kind of located in like the valley in between two sort of hills. I basically just let Planet Zoo randomize some terrain and then I moved on with that because I wasn't really into designing an entire area when it comes to terrain for Eve Zoo, so I just went with that. Might possibly change, but yeah, Eve Zoo is thinking about the environment and longevity or anything. It has a flood park, which is basically just a sort of, how would you call it? It's a ditch. It's just a lower area that's completely designed to be flooded. So the lower area of the park is completely sand so that any water that collects there easily filtrates into the ground, because that's why usually streets are flooded, because water doesn't really easily filtrate through asphalt or concrete or whatever your streets are made of. It easily filtrates into the ground when it's like grass or sand or anything else than asphalt or concrete or stone. Anyway, so with the circular viewing area almost done, we're going to slowly also be moving to the Otter Habitat inspired by the Giant's Causeway. Now I'm saying it's inspired by the Giant's Causeway. That's not completely true. It was inspired by the Storm Coast in Dragon's Age Inquisition. I just knew that like this is with anything in like fantasy, like or sci-fi or just any kind of like media when it comes to like fantasy or sci-fi or just anything that's not really real. It's always inspired by something that is real. So when I was thinking like, hey, I want a interesting looking Otter Habitat, and then like the coast or the cliffside of the Storm Coast in Dragon Age Inquisition came to mind, I was like, I know that there's like geometric pillars / cliffside things like that is inspired by a real life place. Like I have definitely seen pictures of that before. And so I went looking for what actually inspired the Storm Coast in Dragon's Age Inquisition, and then I came across the Giant's Causeway. So yes, I was inspired by a video game and then looked up the real life thing. but we're still kind of on the viewing area, so I'm getting a little bit of ahead of myself. Yes, the viewing area was just like, it's supposed to be slightly floaty feeling, like it's supposed to be actually surrounded by water, but because the water on this build is only on one side, it's not really how the inspo picture showed it. So I'm very happy with how it turned out in how I built it. And the main objective for today's build was basically make sure that it feels lively. Because one of the big things that can easily happen with modern architecture is that it starts feeling very sterile, like very hospital looking. Because the main colors that you usually use when it comes to modern architecture are like whites or blacks or browns. Like it's those very just, I don't know, like especially if you use a lot of white colors or shades of white and shades of black, it very easily becomes this very sterile hospital feel. So when it came to Eve Zoo and just this build, I wanted to make sure that like, hey, it's an otter habitat. Otters are, well, I describe them as water squirrels because they are just as insane as squirrels. I wanted this habitat especially, or this build especially, to be kind of fun, lively and such. I don't know why I made this sort of waterfall, I don't know, like this sort of waterfall area, but it added something to the habitat. It added something to the build. And this is, I think, where it mostly started, where it came to like, oh, I wanted this, like in the reference picture, this entire viewing area, or well, in the reference picture, it's not a viewing area, because in the reference picture, it's, I think, like, it's for a restaurant, I think, or it's just something, like it's just a seating area. That's the thing with a lot of things in Eve Zoo. They are not inspired by zoos. They're inspired by just like parks, official buildings, some villas. So a lot of things that are in Eve Zoo are not inspired by an actual zoo. Although the fun thing is, when it comes to looking up inspiration pictures for Eve Zoo, I get a lot of Planet Zoo pictures. Like a lot of, like, just going through Pinterest, I find so many just pictures of Planet Zoo. Also, what I just built when it comes to like the stepstones, I did delete later on because it was just a lawsuit waiting to happen. Like, you know, there's going to be that dumb kid or that very cocky kid that just sort of runs across those stones and will crack their head open. So that's just like, that was an area waiting for a lawsuit. So I removed it and it became just part of the greater Floodpark, which is what we're building now, which is basically, as I said, it's just sort of a ditch or lower area where if there is any flooding or just like a lot of rain or such, this is the area where the water just goes, easily filtrates into the ground. If, let's say, there is a lot of rain and like the Otter Habitat starts to, like, the water starts to rise up, this is where the drains go so that it's just not overwhelming the sewer system. Or if the sewer system is overwhelmed, then it spills out into this Floodpark. But it's especially designed to be floodable. But that's basically everything for this build. So I should probably start talking about the intro question about what kind of person you are when it comes to how you fall asleep. I'm going to ask the question again just to bring it back up again, but are you the kind of person that immediately falls asleep when your head hits the pillow? Or are you the kind of person that just sort of lays in bed for an hour until you fall asleep, sort of moving and wiggling around until you find the perfect position to fall asleep in? Basically, the perfect position is like, you know, when you wake up, this might just be personal experience, but when I wake up, I don't want to move because the bed is the perfect temperature. I'm in the perfect spot, which means that I'm so comfortable that I will lay in bed for at least another 10 minutes. If you try to get me out of bed in those 10 minutes, I will punch you. Well, I will just roll around, grumble, and just, like, you know, let the Yeti sleep. Well, I'm not sleeping, I'm just laying there because it's so comfortable. Also, yes, there was a lot of revising on this build because, well, this actually ties into that question because this build was finished on Sunday, actually on Saturday. On Sunday, I just revised a lot of things, which is what you're seeing right now, which is not really like the casual thing to do when it comes to me. That didn't like this. When it comes to the schedule of me building, I start building usually the day before a video goes live. Not for the video that goes live, but like when I finish the build, let's say for Wednesday's build, so what you're seeing right now, I would usually start building on Saturday or Friday. Well, mostly I would start building on Friday, and then I would have until Monday to finish it. So 2 days before the video goes live, the build is finished. Then I will record, edit, and upload on Tuesday so that on Wednesday I won't have to do anything. That's when I start building the other thing. Or usually after I finished uploading on Tuesday, then I will start building the next build. Finishing this build on Sunday is really strange feeling. I was supposed to be finishing this build today. Today I am recording this and it's Monday. I was supposed to, schedule-wise, have until tomorrow. But I finished this build, well, I'm saying Sunday, but it's actually Saturday. I can't really... This is just a thing. Another question for any of you creative-minded people out there. Do you sometimes have these moments where you just have this burst of creativity and you just can't stop? Or you're not allowing yourself to stop building or doing whatever you're doing just because you're afraid that that burst of creativity would be gone? That's basically what happened Saturday. Like, I started building on Friday, it's like, you know, nice. I was taking my time. Saturday morning rolls around. I was still taking my time. Saturday afternoon comes around. Well, not afternoon, slightly like 5 p.m.-ish. And I just went insane. Legitimately, I can't describe the feeling, but I just started building and I didn't stop. Then I tried to go to sleep at 11 p.m. I couldn't sleep and I just continued building. And I pulled an all-nighter. Like, I didn't stop building the entire night. I kept building throughout Sunday, even though the build, as I said, would have been finished on Saturday. Well, Sunday early morning. Because again, I didn't sleep. Like, I'm not saying in any sort of way that of what I did was healthy. Like, please make sure you get proper nights of sleep, because Sunday, yeah, as I said, I pulled an all-nighter building today's build. Or, well, you're going to see this on Wednesday, I'm recording this on Monday. The entire Sunday, I was sort of out of it. I was continuing to build, revising things, making things a little bit extra. But throughout Sunday, I was sort of, the best I can describe it is I was wasted. I was continuing to build, but I was also sort of mentally not there anymore. Like, I continued to build throughout Saturday night into Sunday morning until Sunday afternoon. Continue to build. Like, I do have breaks. Like, this is how I build. I build for 30 minutes and then I have to do something else for an hour, which is usually like a round of smite, and then I go back into building in Plan 2. Sunday though, I still did that, but I was sort of, I was in this really weird mental state. I can now fully understand why they continuously say, like, don't get behind the wheel whenever you haven't had a good night of sleep, because as I said, I can only describe how I felt on Sunday as being wasted, like being really drunk without even having any alcohol. And then 5 p.m. in the afternoon on Sunday rolls around. As I said again, I didn't sleep at all Saturday night. I continued building throughout Sunday, and then 5 p.m. on Sunday rolls around and then I crashed. Legitimately. Like, I went to, like, take a quick nap because it was just like I was living off of adrenaline basically throughout Sunday. So I went to take a nap because I was just like, yes, again, what I did is not healthy in any way. Please get a proper night's rest, all of you guys. But I kind of took a nap, because what happened is I crashed. Now, here's where the question from the intro starts making sense, because I am that person that just, when I go to bed, which, because I have to get up at like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m., I naturally wake up an hour before I actually have to wake up. But I usually go to bed at like 10 p.m, like right after a stream. I usually go to bed. I will lay in bed for an hour. Like, I'm the person that doesn't immediately fall asleep. I will lay in bed, move around, find that perfect position, and then I will just pass out. Like as soon as I found the perfect position and I'm like completely zoned out, then I will fall asleep. What happened on Sunday 5 p.m? I lay in bed. I was shaking actually, which again shows that please don't do what I did. Get a proper night's sleep. What I did was not good or healthy in any sort of way because I was legitimately shaking in bed. Or just lying there slightly shaking. Like I could feel my like eyelids sort of shake or like vibrate. Again, I have to say this again. What I did was not healthy or good in any way. Don't do this. But I just lay in bed. I was just like, yeah, let's take a nap for like 10-20 minutes. The next thing I remember is just like I was just gone. Like I lay in bed, hit the pillow, and I was gone. Completely out of it. I sort of woke up, still kind of shake. Like I sort of like, you have these moments where you sort of wake up, but you immediately fall back to sleep again. Like I had that one moment and it was just like, what the hell is happening? And then I woke up at 6 p.m. because dinner time, of course. Food is the one thing that you can get me out of bed for. Like if it's early in the morning and I'm like laying in bed for like those 10 minutes because I found the perfect position, you can get me out of bed with food. Yeah, I'm very food driven. But I got up at 6 p.m. and until 7 I was still sort of like in that weird mental state of just living off of the last bits of energy and adrenaline that I had. And then 10 p.m, which is usually when I want to go to bed, I start getting energy again, which culminates in me going to bed, waking up at sometimes 1 a.m. in the morning, and then I want to build. Yes, my body hates me because when I want to sleep, I can't sleep. When I don't want to sleep, I just pass out, as shown on Sunday. But hey, the end result is I finished this video very early actually. I could revise things. I built a backstage area, which was so weird. Because I'm usually not interested in it. But I'm so happy with how everything turned out. I will get a proper night's sleep. I won't do this again. I can't swear that or make like a promise that I won't do that because my brain's sometimes just like, I have fucked over my sleep schedule so much that it's just like, I don't want to pull all-nighters, but sometimes it just happens. Again, I want to ask any creative people out there or creative-minded people, like, do you sometimes have these moments as well where you have all of the inspiration and your body is just not letting you stop? However, looking back at it, it was really funny. Not good or healthy in any way, but just looking back and thinking of like, my mind was so cloudy, I was so out of it, I was sort of shaking at the end of it. I probably moved around like a drunk ass. But yeah, this is why that question in the intro made sense, because as I said, usually I am person B, like I am the person who will lay in bed for an hour. However, on Sunday, I just crashed. I passed out, and again, this is probably the 5th or 4th time that I say this. Don't do what I did. Get a proper night's sleep, because what I did was extremely unhealthy. Like what I did was not good in any sort of way. I am, however, proud of the end result of Sunday. Actually, mostly Saturday, because Sunday was mostly just revising things. Like the entire Floodpark was revised because there was just that area, the stepstones that were just calling for a lawsuit. Like again, some cocky kid would run around there, fall or slip and just break his neck. I would have been that kid on Sunday. Now I realize that I was protecting myself. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. I did get a proper night's sleep Sunday night, so don't worry about it. I am fully rested right now. Oh god, Sunday was a experience. Like I have never, well, I have been drunk. I can't say I haven't been drunk. I have been wasted. I've been singing or humming. Like I don't think you can sing the Pink Panther theme song, but I've hummed it very loudly on the way to the subway. And then, well, in the subway I did see flamingos. However, those were real flamingos. Like I just summoned Leaf probably by just mentioning flamingos, but I saw flamingos in the subway when I was just wasted. However, it was an advertisement for Rotterdam Zoo, so I know there were real flamingos. I later went into the same subway or the same carriage, I saw the flamingos again. So I wasn't completely out of it. Although I was humming the Pink Panther theme song really loudly, probably annoyed some people or was just very hilarious to look at. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Again, let me know what kind of person you are when it comes to falling asleep. Are you the kind of person that immediately falls asleep when your head hits the pillow, or do you lay in bed for an hour just like me? I want to know. Stay healthy, don't pull all-nighters, because you're going to crash eventually, just like I did. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. There is the like button, of course. It helps a lot with the algorithm if you hit the like button. And then there's also the subscribe button. I might still be feeling the after effects of Sunday, but there's also the subscribe button if you want to see more or want to be, I wanted to say notified when the next video goes live, but then there's the notification button for that. But that's as broken as my brain on Sunday. So hope you enjoyed this video. I wish all of you an amazing day. Please get a proper night's rest and see ya.